Hey everybody, it is Dr. T with Pussycat Talk Podcast, your girl from PKT. Look, we got an amazing guest speaker today, Miss Denise from underscore magically me.
Underscore majestically me.
Okay. We got my girl here and she's going to be giving us a little bit of juice about what she does. So, Denise, please let everybody know who you are, what you do, and how you serve.
Of course. So I am literally a Latina single mom that came across credit, I don't even know, a year ago. And it really have blew my mind that I came across credit and how it really changed people's lives. I
Hmm.
never had a good relationship with credit. So I'm like, oh, heck no. Like, credit really is not the answer to everyone's prayers. But in my world, it was. So the way I ended up learning about credit, I decided to manifest a credit repair business. So now I assist others repairing their credit and then scaling up and being able to obtain business funding to get funding to scale into other businesses, maybe. If
And we
that's
love that. We love that because people don't realize credit controls everything, right, Denise? It
yes.
controls everything that we do today.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are really ignorant to credit.
Yes, and I was one of those individuals, and there's no way because I was always taught, and everyone hears that credit's bad, bad debt is bad until you notice and think about and sit there and really invest that credit into something that's going to make you that income back, and that is what's actually ultimately going to be paying that debt. Like you're never going to be debt free. That's for sure.
Correct.
I'm letting you know that right now.
It's debt every single day, right? It's consistently debt. Everything that we do is based on debt. And people really don't realize that, whether it's your car, whether it's your car insurance, whether it's your cell phone, whether it's your rent, whether it's your mortgage, all that is still considered debt. And you could have good debt or you could have bad debt, right?
Correct. And let me tell you, like listen, I'm debt. Everybody's in debt, but hopefully that's the good debt that you guys are in because there's no way I would have been able to scale within my business and help others without the debt that I currently have.
So you say you were able to help others with debt. How were you able to help someone with debt?
Yeah, so when it comes down to their debt, or when I say debt, I mean their bad debt. I want to change their mindset. So it's not necessarily helping them figure out how they're going to pay their debt down. It's more of, listen, you need to understand that within this universe, within this world, and within this time, you need to know that that mindset needs to change in order for you to scale up, or for you to leave your job, or for you to have a better car, for you to buy a home. We need you to think about the bigger and better things. And that's when I utilize that. They're like, okay, I'm going to invest. I may be from a credit card or whatever that they invest into themselves that's going to be able to level up their current situation with credit.
I know. I tell a lot of people it's like, we have our community as well. And it's like, take that and put it in something that could generate another source of income. Don't be going buying, a lot of people will go buy Gucci this or, oh, and not even so much as that. They'll take vacations. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
that's not giving them a return. So if you're going to do something, do a business that you can go and visit where you want to visit and make sure that it's going to give you a return and a tax break. Okay. Let's turn that bad debt into good debt. And so you can actually get paid off the debt, right? So
Exactly.
that's it's like, and you're Latina, I'm sorry, you said you were Hispanic, right?
Yes, I am. I am Hispanic.
Right. So within your community, like you said, you're told don't get credit. We were told not to get credit. We were told to pay cash for everything, right?
Exactly.
Was that the same for you?
Yes, it was definitely for me. And then when my mom flipped out. Okay, because when you want to get new knowledge, you have to invest into mentorships, and sometimes that knowledge is not cheap. That knowledge is
Yes.
not cheap. So when she found out, listen, Denise, what? How much did you spend? I'm like, listen, mom, this is gonna make me money. this and it.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time. She
No,
she flipped out. Did what?
yeah, she said, Denise, how much did you spend? And then honestly, like with these mentorships, I ended up paying like literally 6K for this mentorship. And it was for at that time Airbnb. Like I wanted to know about Airbnb and how to short-term rental because I'm trying to fast track my success. And whatever
Mhm.
I'm doing currently and it has not worked and I've been working this 9 to 5 grind and struggling, there's no way I'm gonna figure this out on my own. I need that mentorship. I need that
You
knowledge.
need
So I need to know it.
right, you need the guidance in order to get where you're trying to get to, because we had to do the same thing. It's like,
Mhm,
if we want the information, you got to pay to get the information, and some people
mhm.
don't understand that. I know, girl, we paid for a mentorship. My mom was like, you paid what? And ours was a five figure, so it was more than that 6K. Okay,
Exactly.
we paid the five figure, and she was
Mhm,
like, "You did what? Wait a minute, that's a
mhm,
house note, blah blah blah." And she was going in like your mom,
mhm,
and
mhm,
but that literally made us make money because we were given the guidance to go to the next level, and we made that money right back by
mhm.
taking the mentorship. And I think that's where the misconception is, like, they don't understand that you're paying for a coach. That they don't, they're like, why can't you just go to YouTube University? Like, no, YouTube University only gives you so much, right, Denise? It's like, it
Yes,
takes you right
yes.
there. It's
And
almost, it's like it's good
honestly, when I first
information,
did my like
but
when I
it's
first started
always
my
missing holes, right? It's
entrepreneur
always
journey.
something that's missing,
Oh,
right?
sorry, you froze up there.
Oh, okay. I said it's like missing holes, when you go to YouTube, and it's like, man, it could be that one thing what is missing that will mess you up per se, as opposed to taking you over the top. So that's why you need a coach. You need a mentor.
Yes, yes, and
You
they open up opportunities for you because you may meet other people within that network that could open up doors for you where maybe you're doing credit now or Airbnb now and they helped you along the way. Now you're making money, but now you want to invest into another passive stream of income and they have connections as well. And that knowledge is going to take you very far. You're not just paying for that mentorship, but you're paying for that connection as well. And to me,
know.
I think that's priceless. It's changed, I mean, my life.
Well, I will definitely say it has opened the doors, right, Denise? Because it's like, okay, I got credit, but what am I gonna do with the credit? Like you said, you did Airbnb. We're looking into laundromats, tiny home communities, storage facility, stuff like that, stuff that we would have never thought. A liquor store, about acquiring. And had we not been in these mentorships, we would have never known that information. You know what I'm saying? Not to say it would have never came across, but probably would have glanced at it and been like, "Oh, okay, whatever." I can't do that, or something of that nature, because you didn't think it was obtainable. Okay, so
Mhm.
you're helping people within your community. How many people have you helped so far, and what's the most that you've gotten them in funding?
Of course, so the funding is actually really new on my end. I actually been able to get a client approved for $50,000, and that was, yeah, it was actually like an amazing feeling to know that I literally came from literally that 9 to 5 grind to now being able to help others to obtain their dreams, their goals. She already came with good credit at the time, but if you don't have good credit, that's where I kind of like step in. That's like my specialty, and my team and I just help them repair and rebuild their credit to be able to obtain that funding. So I'm kind of like a all in one. Like, listen, well, I'll help you fix your credit, but I'll also help you obtain that funding. But make sure you got a plan.
Absolutely, because most people don't have a plan, and that's when they get like, "Oh my God, I'm in more debt," because you didn't have a plan of what you were going to do with that credit. So,
Mhm.
how many people have you helped on the credit side?
Yes, on the credit side, and this actually been between when I launched it, it's been 30 individuals so far that's been under the
Wow,
team. Correct. So it's still scaling. The funding again is very, very new, but the fact that everyone's still waiting for that that I don't know if I
right?
want that debt. I don't know, but listen, you want that debt, baby. You want the debt. You want the debt.
I think some people are scared. Would you say they're scared? It's like they're scared of success. They're scared to have money. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
would you agree? I mean, how do you feel about that? What do you think?
So I completely understand with them. I can relate with them because that was me a couple months ago. And I just truly feel that once they get over that hump, and again, that's when they invest into that mentorship where they kind of talk them through, like, listen, you have this debt, but this is how you're going to utilize it to give you a return back. At that point, once they change their mind, I think it all comes back to their mindset. Because if they're stuck in that mindset where, like, I'm not going to be able to, yeah, you can help me get the money to start my business, but how am I going to pay those cards back or how am I going to pay the funding back? But
And
again,
and don't
that's
take me so caught up with that. It's like, first of all, let's get you the credit and funding. We'll
Yes.
have the plan, but let's get you the credit and funding. You scared to take it. It's just, so I had to tell somebody today they got approved for Stripe
Mhm.
funding.
Oh, the Stripe
Okay,
funding. Hmm.
right. And I was like, she's like, but I'm scared to take it. I was like, why? If you don't if you don't
Yes.
use it, she said, well, can I pay it off early? Yes. If you end up not using it, just pay it off. And
Mhm.
don't But I was just like, don't not use it. Don't not take it. I mean, don't not take it.
Exactly. And what people, and I think this is going to be like a free little, about people don't understand either for a little gem. When you get though that money, the $50,000, right? And let's say you invest 10K of it. Let's say you don't use the whole 50K. You can actually liquidate some of the money off that credit card and put it into your personal checkings account. And until you're
Uh
up
oh, you
and
froze
running
up.
and making some money, that money off that credit card is now making those monthly payments for that debt that you have now accrued. So you're buying yourself time.
Yes, you are. And here it is. You can learn to have a digital product, right?
Yes.
Which is what's happening now. We're completely digital. We're online selling our services, and that becomes a digital product. So everybody has a talent. You know what I'm saying? They may
Mm-hmm.
not do credit. They may not do funding, but I'm sure it's something else that you can do online that can generate income, but you're still going to need to have your social media. You're still going to need to have shout out pages to market you, right? So, and people, and that will, and you may want to run ads, Instagram and Facebook or TikTok ads. So you want to be able to have that funding in order to do it. So if you don't mind me asking, what age group do you support? Do you support everybody? Or is there a particular age group? What would you say, the individuals that you support?
I actually support every age group because when it comes down to it, I get all different types of clientele. Like they could be literally within their early 20s, they could be up to their late 50s. I think I was
Sorry,
like,
sorry, honey. Go
you
ahead.
know, you're good.
Go ahead.
No, no,
Go
no,
ahead.
you're good. So really, there's no credit doesn't discriminate because we no matter what age, no matter what age it is, we're gonna need that credit. So it's all ages.
Okay. So, what would you say the earliest a person should be working on their credit?
I was about to say, like, I don't feel like there's a time limit. I could literally start working on my daughter's credit right now, and she's 9. I think that's
Wow.
I feel like that's a good age, just at least to set them up and teach them as they grow. And then when it's about time for them to start accruing their own credit profile, they already know what to do with it. But really, you should within the high school age as well, because as soon as you start hitting graduation and you're trying to figure out what to do in life, I feel like you need to have a solid profile already set up. And if you don't, that's okay.
I totally agree. So, when you're saying you're going to set your daughter up, what's the first thing? Let's give some big nuggets here. What's the first thing that you would do to set your
Yeah.
daughter's credit up in the right direction?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't understand that you can add your kids as an authorized user to your credit cards. And not with the credit cards that you're messing up. If you don't have a good payment history, if you're going over that high utilization, that's not something you want to add your children onto. But if you have a good payment history, a nice credit card you can add your child's name to, they're going to accrue that credit history. So by the time they're able to utilize it, they're going to have like 10 years, 15 years in age on their credit profile. And
Hmm.
key factors, financial institutions like to see at least a minimum of 5 years when it comes down to these credit
Yes.
applications.
And people don't know that. It's
Mhm.
like, yeah, you can get some credit at 6 months. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you want some really good credit, you want it to, 2 years and beyond to show that you've been making excellent payment, no
Mhm.
new credit, because anything
Yeah.
under 2 years is considered new credit, right?
Yes.
So now that you set up, or would you set your child up with an LLC, or are you just working on the credit portion?
I've actually learning with this as well when it comes down to children. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Ellie, but I be on her Instagram. I do, and you can set up your children's LLC at a very early age, and it could be as simple as making stickers.
Mhm.
And so that is something that you could definitely do for your kids at an early age to be able to build up business credit as well.
And on top of that, they can make an income. Okay, they can literally start making an income. You can actually pay your children, and that can be paid through the LLC. So that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, Ellie is like the bomb.com.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I love her.
Ellie Talks Money is the bomb.com. So we love us some Ellie. I had an opportunity to meet her in Miami a couple of years ago, and I felt one like a midget because she's so tall. Okay, she is super
Oh,
super tall. She is tall, but she is so knowledgeable. And she took her $1,400 stimulus check and turned it into $1 million business. So she's amazing, amazing example of helping people in the financial industry sector to help their families. For her, it's all about mommy and me, mommy and the kids. So I just thought that was really, really cool. And she does resonate with us moms because we're trying to make a way, right, Denise? We're just trying to make a way out of no way. Okay. So what are some of the tips that you would tell someone that's working on their credit? What are the top 5 things someone needs to look out for when it comes to credit?
I would say definitely the 5 things you need to look out for is the 5 factors of credit. You need to know and look out for those hard inquiries. You don't realize that you're looking very desperate to the banks when you have all these hard inquiries, or let's say you're getting a car and all of a sudden you get hit from all these financial institutions. They're going to look at all those things. So you want to make sure that you don't have no more than 3 to 4 hard inquiries within the last 6 months. Now, when it
Okay.
comes down to your payments, you want to make sure that you're paying your credit cards on time. Make sure you're putting those on auto pay because that also accounts for 35% of your credit score. And those are the worst things to get, guys. The worst. I mean, there's just I could literally talk about credit so much, but I really, honestly, I've learned so much, and I just really feel like you should focus on all of those negative items that people think that they can't get rid of. Those collections, those charge offs, those repos. People think that that's like, what do they call when their life is over and you can't reverse what you undone? You're able to remove anything off your credit report, guys. Whatever. So
Now, how is that possible that you can just remove anything? How is that possible?
So you're actually able to remove those negative items because there's laws in place for consumers, which is to be able to remove negative items that is inaccurately reporting, that's unverifiable. I mean, to be honest, there's a law out there that specifically says that we shouldn't even have anything on our credit report, but we have so much reporting. So once we actually know our rights, we're able to justify the things that are on our credit report to be able to better serve us when it comes down to the credit space and being able to scale up within our lives.
That's a good one, guys. That's a good point. Okay, so no, watch out for the inquiries. Don't try to have more than two. Make sure you don't have any collections and charge offs, and then of course pay your bills on time. Put it on auto pay. Okay, are you guys hearing what Denise is saying? She's saying put it on auto pay. Okay. All
Mhm.
right. So, what are some of your favorite credit cards to go to for a brand new person who's building their credit?
For a building, so we also we love stuff like for anyone that doesn't have any credit history, if we're talking about like not any major banks, any person that's trying to rebuild their credit itself is a great tool to utilize because they have installment loans that you could use to make payments and be able to pay yourself. You end up getting that money that you're paying to them back in the mail after a certain time frame when that contract ends. And then you also have that credit card where they're actually making those monthly payments and then being able to report that to your credit profile.
Oh, wow, that's dope. Guys, are you hearing what Denise is saying? She is truly dropping some gems on just basic things that you can do to improve your credit and how to even build your credit. Denise, is there any other items that you would like to let the audience know that's super important about understanding credit and not to be afraid of credit? How can you make somebody, explain to somebody, don't be afraid of credit? What would you suggest?
I definitely suggest taking the time if you are a YouTube fanatic. Go and watch. Go and watch. I had to say it because I
I
was a
know, because it's like, okay, okay,
I
I'm
can't.
sorry. Go
Yes,
ahead.
I go there all the time, but you need to really watch these changing your mindset videos because you're the only one holding yourself accountable and no one is going to come and save you. So as soon as you figure out that this is attainable for you no matter what it is, you are going to be able to succeed and open those doors and along with credit because whatever predicament that you're currently in, whether you need a new car, whether you're homeless, whether you're trying to quit your 9 to 5 and need to start a business, whether you're trying to support your kids, credit is literally the answer to every prayer. And as soon as you realize that that debt is actually a blessing and you know and get the knowledge on how to move that money around, no one's going to stop you. So make sure you tune in to
Absolutely.
yourself.
That is so important because if you don't have the right type of mindset about money, then the credit situation is going to be obsolete for you. It's like, okay, you're going to end up messing it up and you'll have to start all over again. And with all the new things that are coming out, like FICO 10T, which has been around, but they're really enforcing it, TransUnion just literally, fired half of their staff and they're going to be using AI to help with the disputes. And I just think that that's crazy because it's going to make it harder for us to really get credit now. And they're going to be checking your social media as well. Even when you're applying for credit, it's crazy. Did you see that? That was like, I was like, you got to
I
be
didn't
kidding
know.
me. That right there, I was like, wow, that's going to change the whole game
Mm-hmm.
about the whole credit system. And if the other two credit bureaus, end up doing the same thing, which I'm sure they probably are doing something similar,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to make it harder for us to dispute and things like that. So that's
I'm
why it's super
losing you,
duper
Dr.
important, guys.
Tamara.
That's why it's getting harder for folks to get their credit clean because, they're starting to smarten up, like we're smartening up. They're like, wait a minute, we can't keep people in debt, so we can't charge them high interest rates anymore. Right. We can, if they got poor credit. And let's speak to that, Denise, because people don't understand when you have poor credit, it affects your interest rates. It affects what are some of the things that you've seen it affect?
So definitely, obviously, the interest rate, and then again, I used to be within that category of having poor credit. So I was living in a bad neighborhood. I honestly, listen, I was riding a slider, guys. I was the car that I
Wow.
was. It was not safe to be driving my daughter in, and I couldn't obtain a good car until I fixed my credit because I was going to be dying in that interest rate and the monthly payments. It affects everything within your life. Like honestly.
It affects you even getting direct deposit. Okay.
Mhm.
Because if your credit is really, really bad, they won't even give you direct deposit. You got to get some like debit card. So it's
Mhm.
just crazy. So it's something you said that was powerful, Denise. Credit affected you having a good interest rate on your car and where you live. And people don't realize that because you don't understand credit, if you got poor credit, it's like, but Denise, it's so crazy because people don't understand that if you have poor credit, you generally live in a bad, generally live in a bad neighborhood. Okay.
Mhm.
You generally, and the interest rate is crazy on a car. It can be, if you got good credit, because of what the interest rates are right now, anywhere from 4 to 7% on a car. If you got bad credit, it's
Mhm.
like 29,
Mhm.
30%.
Mhm. Mhm. You'll never get rid of that auto loan. You're going to be in debt for life. And if you don't figure out how to again change that mindset, put it on Toro, make you some money back. At least hopefully at that point it's making you some money because you'll be paying that for a long time, honey.
I think it's so smart that you were able to say, look, my credit wasn't bad. It was bad. And I want to understand credit and it's changed your life. So what is the most memorable thing or what was the one thing that when you got your credit where it was that you did for yourself?
Yeah, so I actually, once I repaired my own credit and learned how to do that myself, I never had a credit card. I never had a high limit credit card. I personally went to Navy Federal. I love Navy Fed. Navy Fed's my big.
Okay, that's safe.
And
That's safe.
yeah, they be giving out the bag. And so when I got approved for my very, very first $20,000 credit card, who do I call? I call my mom. I call my mom. Mommy! I literally got approved for $20,000 thinking I'm rich, right? I'm rich. I got $20,000. But the very first thing I did was I invested right back into the knowledge that got me that 20K credit card. And that's when I invested into that Airbnb mentorship. But something that I did for my very own self, like very own self, I ended up getting my first 2024 BMW.
That's
I'm thinking
dope.
BMW. That was my second option. I'm sorry, my bad. It was actually not a BMW. It was a Mercedes Benz.
Wow.
So that was a very
That's
good,
dope.
very large purchase for me. So
And that made you feel good about you. Did you change
yeah,
where you lived? Did you stay where you
mhm,
lived? Or, so
correct.
your life completely changed.
Correct. So I was able to move out of the neighborhood I was in. I was able to upgrade the car that broke down on me. Okay, I got upgraded to a new luxury car, and then I was able to start making some passive income within my, well, I wouldn't say passive because it's very active business. And I was scaling up to 10K a month. So that came from nothing to something within a very short amount of time once you believe in yourself.
That is impressive. How does your daughter feel about the things that you guys been able to accomplish?
You know what? She listen. She be like, "Mommy, we rich now." I'm
Oh,
listen,
wow.
baby. So we scaling up here. But she's very, she's very in tune, and it makes her very creative. Like she wants to now start doing things where she's able to make money at a very young age, where she starts talking about lemonade stands and creating against those canvas stickers. Once she sees, or the environment that she's in, she's able to obtain those things as well. She doesn't grow up within that environment where, she doesn't think that she's able to get out of a situation. So I think that's dope.
Now, you know what you said that was pretty impressive to me. By being able to scale yourself up
Mhm,
and improve your credit, you were able to
mhm,
change the situation for you and your daughter. So now your daughter is thinking creatively. So is
mhm,
she at a new school now because you guys have scaled
mhm,
up? You're not in the same neighborhood. You're not driving the same car. You're
mhm,
not scared. You're not worried about your car breaking down. And you're almost at 10K a month. And
mhm.
your daughter is talking about doing business for herself. So that's a major come up. How does that make you feel as a mom?
Honestly, it's been very heartwarming. Like it's just been mind blowing. I haven't been, because you're always on go. You don't really sit down. You're always thinking about how to level up to the next level. And they always say you're always living in that moment that you was always praying for, and you have to enjoy it. So even though I feel like I'm not where I need to be, I have come such a long way, and I just want to help others do the same thing, because the sky's the limit at that point.
Yes, it is. I am a true believer that you can make a way out of no way. Okay. It just takes fortitude. It takes you wanting to do it, right? It's like only person that can make that decision is you, right? Let's keep it a
Exactly.
buck. Let's keep it
Exactly.
real. So
And you
Denise, where
motivate.
huh?
And you motivate, and then once you're prime, everyone around you is going to get that energy, because my partner, she's been so supportive, right? But she was seeing me like hustle down, like she's like, what the heck are you learning? What are you doing? You're always on, YouTube University, or like you're just going in. So as soon as she seen me take this as serious as I did, she's like, hold on, let me figure out what you doing, so that way we could like do this together. And like this has expanded
That's
her
dope.
horizons as well, like mindset wise, and now she's taking off with it. So honestly, this affects everyone within your circle, and if they are not within that, that's why if they're not within that mindset, it's better off to be alone.
Yeah, because your whole would you agree, Denise, that some of the people that you talk to now are completely different from some of the people from before because their mindset is not in the same place? It's like the
Mhm.
conversation's different.
The conversation is definitely different, or they think that you're gloating, or like they just have no drive. And it's like when you think about everything within your life, now it's like, oh, I want to take a trip, but they want to take a trip and party. But I'm in my mind, I'm like, how can I prioritize this to make some money? Like this could be a tax write off. I'm going out to dinner. I'm like, hold on, let me make sure I take a picture of the receipt. Like, what did we talk about for business? Like these retreat, everything, like your whole mindset is just changed.
It's totally right. It's like everything is like, okay, okay, how can I monetize that? Everything is totally different, right? Just like being on YouTube. If I'm on YouTube, I'm on YouTube to make money. I'm not on YouTube just to be like, ooh, let me see who's talking about what. No, what
Yeah.
can I talk about that's going to be able to be monetized? And I think that's so crazy, and I think that's so amazing because now people who didn't have a skill set can literally turn it around by learning from someone else that can be their mentorship, like we talked about before, and then turning it into income. But we, like I like to tell everybody, with our business, it's all about the family. It's all about making sure everybody comes up together. And who is your inspiration outside of Ellie? Who is your go-to person when you are in the trenches and you're like, okay, can I really do this? Can I really do this? Who would you say is that best option? Who is the person that you would go to?
Are we talking about like social media wise, like handle like mentors? Or are we talking about like anybody within our life space right now, our space?
Both personal and
Okay.
business.
So definitely my mentors, Dom and Mikkel, like they're a couple. I found them, and that's who I learned credit from, and they have been amazing, like amazing. We just talk every day now. We're so close, and they've scaled so far in their business. I aspire to be them. So once you surround yourself with those type of networks, you have no option but to level up. And they have pushed me
Correct.
so hard because they see your potential. They came from, the same situation as you. So they were really my go-to, and they never let me give up. I even thought about going back to work. I was like, I can't do this. I got to go back to the 9 to 5 grind. Like, this is all I know. I work 12-hour shifts, and they're like, mm-mm. They're like, Denise, no, that's not the vibe. You need to keep on going. So that was really like my go-to on the professional side. And I would say on the personal side, it was really my partner. Like she has held it down. Down. Listen, when I was down, she has
That is amazing.
taken over the whole, mindset wise, where she takes care of the home and everything related in there, while I go out there and chase my dreams and tunnel vision. And then once I got there, it was just fireworks. Like, okay, we made this work. Like, she never also let me give up even when I wanted to. So tremendously.
That's that is so amazing because having a support system is so important because sometimes all that negativity, it can weigh you down. It becomes an
Mhm.
emotional vampire. And the fact that you got a great support in your mentorship and a great support in your partner, and then of course your little girl is like, Mommy, I can do it too. You can do it too.
Yes.
That has to be a dream come true. So you're living the dream. So where can people find you if they need help?
Yeah, so you guys actually can find me on the social media, on Instagram. I believe it is underscore majestically me. That's my hashtag. You guys can schedule your free credit analysis with me if you guys don't know where to start. Like, I literally will break down everything for you and give you like a personalized strategy on what you can do, like your first steps if you don't know where to start.
And that's super duper important. You got to know where to start. So I am
Mhm.
so grateful to you, Denise, for
Thank
spending
you.
time with me on the PKT podcast and so willing to help so many people, have a true understanding because, again, people are still walking blind about credit and thinking credit is bad when credit can work in our favor. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this amazing episode with underscore majestically me. Make sure to follow her. Make sure to subscribe to her. Make sure to DM her if you need help. And again, we'll be back with another episode. See you later. Meow.